Payne's Prairie Preserve State Park is a Florida state park encompassing a 21,000-acre savanna in Micanopy, Florida, south of Gainesville. It is also a U.S. National Natural Landmark. It is crossed by both I-75 and US 441, which has a scenic outlook ramp. It is in the center of the Payne's Prairie Basin. The basin's primary source of drainage is the Alachua Sink. During occasional wet periods, the basin will become full. A notable period occurred from 1871 to 1891 when the Alachua Sink was temporarily blocked. During this period, shallow draft steamboats were a frequent sight on Alachua Lake in the center of the prairie. The region was also historically known as the Alachua Savanna. Its drainage has been modified by several canals. Since 1927, Camps Canal has linked the basin to the River Styx, which leads to the Orange Lake and eventually the Atlantic Ocean through the St. Johns River. That reduced the basin's water intake by half. Additional changes to the prairie's environment have been detrimental to its hydrology. In 1970, the state of Florida acquired the land and has been in the process of restoring the environment to a more natural condition ever since. Lying there in Sinkhole Valley, Alachua Sink and the Payne's Prairie Basin are karst features carved from the limestone bedrock by groundwater. The Prairie Basin is a 16,000-acre flat-bottomed sinkhole valley encircled by a high bluff that was formed by a fracture in the bedrock, allowing water moving across the flat prairie to flow into the Floridan Aquifer, creating the swallow hole called Alachua Sink. A healthy environmental sink will work to clean water, slow its movement, and store it for the use of people and wildlife. Someday, this water will become drinking water in the taps of residents throughout Florida that access this aquifer. Restoring this landscape, in 1970, Payne's Prairie became Florida's first state preserve, covering 22,000 acres of restored landscape. The treeless landscape was naturally maintained by fire and flood in the past, and today is aided in that process by preserve staff who work to restore the natural flow of water across the prairie by removing dikes and canals and conducting controlled burns in areas of the park. Florida is home to a large variety of animals like deer, raccoon, turtles, fish, alligator, and other animals. Believe it or not, even bison are native to Florida. Historically, they were part of the natural ecosystem of this area, but populations were exploited through hunting. The Florida Park Service reintroduced bison into the park in 1975. Today, a small herd of American bison roam free within 6,000 acres of Payne's Prairie Preserve. Since the arrival of the Spanish in Florida, both wild and domesticated cattle and horses have been an integral part of people's interaction with this rich wetland. Historically, Payne's Prairie was well known as one of the largest Spanish cattle ranches in Florida, providing a food supply to both the city of St. Augustine and the country of Cuba. Skirmishes between European nations and Native Americans gave opportunity for horses and cattle to escape into the forest, creating sturdy Seminole horses, as they were called, which were quite different in both character and physical attributes when compared to more common present-day breeds of horses. These wild herds thrived on the high grasses of the prairies in the summer and fall, and on the young grasses emerging after spring wildfires. In an effort to return this element to the prairie as a permanent display of living history, the Florida Park Services was provided with a herd of Spanish horses in 1985.
All right, so right here, Payne's Prairie Preserve, you got a little gator. He's got his head there in the water. See him moving around there? Oh yeah. He's sniffing us out. His eyes are there. See if we can zoom in a little. Give you a better look. There he is. See that? Oh yeah. He's curious. He wants to know if we're food or if we brought food.
We're a threat to him.
And the answer is no to both. There's the hip.
Yeah, we're going.
So here we are.
got a
I'm
gator back
Jerry.
here.
There's Shannon. Gator in the background. And we have walked the Alachua Sink in the Payne's Prairie Preserve. We have seen wild horses, aggressive alligators, some very peaceful deer. At this point, we've kind of reached the end of the walking path. You see it there yet, as far as we are going today. Otherwise, it would be swimming with gators. So,
And I ain't doing that. I'll do sharks, but I won't swim with gators. That's where I draw the line.
but it has been an adventure. There's another gator straight up ahead. We are surrounded by alligators. Some decent sized ones too.
So we're going to be paying more attention right now. Because the trail ain't that wide.
We'll give you an idea of the kind of trail we're on. There's the water. It is clear that we are invading someone's habitat.
We are not on top of the food chain here. He's going under. He went under.
Yep. One gator went under, that one's still moving. And if you see what we're having a walk through, it is muddy, wet, and he's big. There he is. Ha. Fun. This is what you'd call a Florida safari, for sure.
Don't worry, I got my trusty knife in my hand.
It's about the size of one gator tooth. Oh boy. Yep, we have traversed about as far as we could go without swimming. Literally as far as we could go without swimming. So we're signing off. Thank you guys for joining us. It has been an experience. All right. Stay safe.